Okay, so in the third row, you would have wanted to change this to 350 per gallon and also change all of these to 772 miles. The mileage does make a difference with the tires, repairs, and maintenance because it's getting you closer and closer to whatever that threshold is where you need to spend that money. You would have gotten 164.20. Take this and divide by 772. We get 21 cents per mile. The last one, 772 here, now $5 here. We get 216.83, divide by 772, we get 28 cents as our cost per mile. So notice what happens here, okay? Again, if we think about each of these as a pair, because they're the same distance, our one with our higher gas price costs more, that makes sense. But then when I get to this one, they're the same cost as before. Well, that is because every single part of this is dependent on the mileage. In the rental, we said that the rental fee was not dependent on mileage. But if I go double the miles, my maintenance cost is double. If I go double the miles, my tire cost is double. Everything doubled, but then I divide it by double, so it ends up being the same amount per mile. So if we think about, this is for Jenna's car here. And if we go back to the rental, just so we can see how it compares. So this is for the rental car. We had 38 cents a mile. Then we had 42 cents a mile. Then we had 24 cents a mile. And then we had 27 cents a mile. So her own car is cheaper until we get to the point where we have enough miles, so these are way down per mile, and the cost of gas was more, because remember, her car gets much worse gas mileage. So if she kept going, if the gas price was high and she went even more miles, then it would start being more cost effective to rent rather than to use her own car. Okay, the last couple questions on this lesson, we're actually going to skip the one about writing an equation and then using it. It's just, I think this is enough to do long distance like this. So what I want you to get out of this is more experience with using dimensional analysis and the idea of, having a setup and then being able to put in and out the information as it changes. Again, it's the same idea like having a formula. If we know the area of a rectangle is length times width, we don't have to come up with it every time. We just put in whatever the length is that time, put in whatever the width is, change them as we need. That's what we're essentially doing here. You set up a template for yourself, and then you don't have to reinvent it every single time. Okay, so this is the end of 3.2, both parts. There's one OCE for 3.2, even though it was a 2-day lesson. So by Friday night of this week, so that's the, 10th. So by Friday the 10th at midnight, you have P&L 3.1 and 3.2 due. The OCEs for this week are going to be due next Friday the 17th. But please don't put them off, okay? If at all possible, get working on them. I have office hours tomorrow. Also, I have, I'm not sure when I'll get this uploaded, but I do have class Thursday at 1 and Friday at 11. So those are options. Also, you can always email me if you have questions, okay? All right, I'll see you soon.